my god, Studio Foe! This just came out of left field. Thank God I waited a week to do that review.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's your man to fire himself, Halfpint, once again, and we have a massive update from Studio Foe in regards to Subverse and what to expect in the future. Before we go into detail with today's video, first off, we'll be having a review of the game tomorrow, and then after that we'll be doing an additional video talking about the future of the game, because not just this Kickstarter update, but we'll be going over some of the past information that we have, that we know of, that's coming with the game. Okay, with that being said though, we have a massive update, just a bombshell from Studio Foe within this update. So I figured we'd go ahead and get started. We'll go ahead and quickly go over the Kickstarter. I figure I'm honestly just going to read this word for word just because it's massive enough inside of it with plenty of information. Towards the end, we'll go over my thoughts. It starts off by saying, I can't thank you guys enough for coming out in numbers and supporting Subverse. Special thanks to the sections of the media who bothered to get off their asses on a zero news week and cover the most successful adult game launch of all time, including Halfpint, hey, yours truly, Gamertron, Sex Positive Gaming, Arc, Hayasosuki, I can't pronounce that name, but it's on screen, Anna Valens from the Daily Dot, and Tyler Wilde from PC Gamer. Considering we did no marketing, this is a massive success. Yes, you heard that right. We spent a grand total of $0 of the backers' money on marketing during production. All the trailers were cut by me, all the pictures were done by Mansky, and the GIFs were submitted by the dev team. You guys did the rest by spreading the word, and we cannot thank you guys enough. Much like the game, it was a wholesome team effort all around. Despite the strong start, one thing is for sure, complacency is a killer, and I can assure you that none of the team is getting complacent about the record-setting success of Subverse. We know we've got a massive amount of work ahead of us to turn this into a truly excellent adult title, and we're prepared for the challenge. You want to know the telltale sign of how you have a fantastic team? When instead of wanting to rest, they actually beg you to get back to work, and sure enough, the dev team was already hyped up and raring to go on Monday. As of writing, they're back at it, fixing all the bugs. Most importantly, thanks to your feedback sheets and bug reports, we're already preparing the first patch that will fix the most egregious of crash issues and technical errors. Please keep in mind, this is our very first video game, and therefore is our very first patch, so please be a little patient with us as we figure things out. They then go on to talk about Pandora. I fully understand that there was some disappointment about the initial sex scenes on offer. After all, this is just a small morsel, but our focus for this 0.1 build was first and foremost stability. Our objective was to get Pandora running smoothly on the majority of your PCs before enabling the more experimental features later down on the line. Now that we've got more data rolling in, we understand better where the ceiling is, and I can assure you there is a lot more scenes are going to be added as well, including the food pairings and fringe kink content. Believe me, there was a reason we went with the real-time system, and we will make full use of it as we expand our capabilities. We've got a lot more rounds in the chamber, so don't worry. I also noticed a lot of complaints about the sex not being integrated with the story. And for those that were not aware of the Kickstarter diaries, the devotion quests are coming, and they should greatly alleviate the concerns regarding this. In addition to the dialogue options, in my opinion, the devotion quests unlocked when devotion reaches a high enough level are the marquee content of the game, blending thrills, romance, and sex into one satisfying package that is capped off with a 3+ minute Studio Foe cinematic movie. Imagine the loyalty quest in Mass Effect 2, but finishing off by an amazing sex scene. That is excellently what the devotion quest will deliver, and I'm so proud of the actors' performances during these segments. I can't wait until they're integrated into the game. They make our movies look amateurish by comparison. The waifus are the heart and the soul of the game, and we will be delivering more of them as early access progresses. Not just new team members joining, of course, as is the case with the psychopathic space elf Elijah Sorn in the next act, but expanding upon the interaction system. This means more depth to the gifting system, more options to interact with the waifus on the ship, and more combat lines. Please note that this is not feature creep. It was always the plan. We understood what the selling point of the game is very early on in development, and we'll be slowly drip feeding you guys the good shit as early access progresses. They then move on to talk about the timeline. Quote, I really despise roadmaps. They rarely communicate objectives effectively and ultimately place extreme pressure on our already stretched thin dev team, who have worked themselves into the ground these last 3 months. So I would refrain from giving any concrete estimates at this stage. But obviously, a patch is on the way, and that is to be followed by Elijah's block and the expansion of the Pandora system after that. But please keep in mind, we are a tiny dev team and there is so much more we can do until recruitment is concluded. More on that below. Next is modding. We know there is a healthy interest in modding the game. We'll be looking into this over the next month, but currently we are focusing on hotfixing and recruitment as the main priorities. I'll give an update once I am able to. They then go on to talk about recruitment for the team. There is an email linked inside of the update. You can go to Kickstarter.com and go to the latest update, and they will leave you an email where you can contact them if you want to join the team. But be aware, he also says specifically, this is strictly used for business emails. Do not send any spam, praise, or that sort of stuff. Nothing, or hate. Send all that stuff in the Discord. You can bitch at them, you can thank them, you can have a casual conversation with them. Discord, hop in there. Do not use this email for anything else. Up next is Streamster. As usual, we just can't launch without external nonsense. Seriously, I could write a book on what it took to get Subverse to launch. But the Streamster team is working through the issues, and the platform should be operational very soon. I am told sometime next week. Apologies for the delays, but it really is out of our hands at this point. I can't say much more than that due to legal reasons, but we thank you for your patience. There'll also be a Reddit AMA that starts tomorrow, Friday, April 2nd, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time Zone on r/PC Gaming. DC will be attending alongside the casting director and VN developer Samantha, as well as the voice actress of Demi, aka Bordeaux Black. Feel free to drop by and drop some of your steamy hot questions all over our faces. He then concludes by saying, going forward, I can assure you we're not buying Ferris's snorting coke from hookers' buttholes. Your voices have been clear on how you want Subverse to be the leader in the adult scene, and I'm completely on board with that. We'll be using the funds for recruitment and expanding our team first and foremost, making sure that the dev team is in a position to deliver the remaining chapters and module upgrades in a timely fashion. We are 100% committed to working with you guys during early access, so please keep the feedback coming. I am loving the passion and engagement from the community. Yours truly, DC, founder, creative director of Foe Interactive. Thoughts? Let's start with the big thing that is probably on everybody's mind. Pandora was a little lackluster. Not gonna lie. Okay, look. I personally, I could take it or leave it. I was never really here for the Pandora scenes. I do respect the fact that this is what a lot of people are here for. I mean, I'm here for the fact that they're trying to make adult games more likely, right? They're trying to go for that. That's great. That's awesome, and that's what I support. I support the good dev team, and I want them to keep going. However, even I can say that the Pandora scenes were pretty underwhelming. Someone summarized it as just GIFs inside of one of the Steam reviews. That's kind of going a bit too far with it, but I think I get the main gist. It's nice when you go into battle with your waifus, and then you want to go back and you want to treat them. You know, let off some steam, I guess, is one way. But when it's just a singular vignette, it can be fairly underwhelming, and I understand why so many people were let down in this department of the game. However, it is good to hear that they were, for the most part, holding back some of the major things about Pandora so they could just see what the ceiling is when it comes to this sort of stuff. And on top of that, I'm pretty sure they would never want to release everything in the first batch of the game, right? It's not about just slowly drip feeding everybody content. It's more or less the fact that they don't have the full game ready yet. They wanted to give us something, so we're not waiting and wondering, is this Kickstarter project ever going to be a thing? But instead, they decided, here's a little bit of something. I can wait for however long it takes. You can add Pandora scenes in the next month or the month after that, or you can wait to batch release everything in one big drop, right? We now have a little bit of Subverse, and it's good to have that. That's conversation for a different time. More on that later. After the Pandora scenes, they also talk about the devotion quests, which are talked about quite a bit. Hell, one of the lone screens, the forest one with Demi, is supposed to be her specific devotion quest, where you go to the factory to figure out the other Demi bots, the place where she was made, right? Allegedly, we finished these awesome story-based quests, the marquee of the game, I guess. These are the pinnacle of storytelling for this game, as they've said in previous Kickstarters. And on top of that, you finish it off with a 3-minute long movie with the waifu in question here, which are arguably better than some of their past films, if not all their past films in general. So that's what we have to look forward to when it comes to Pandora. Very excited. Want to hear more about that. Up next, mod support. I don't think very many people are going to talk about this, so I am. I feel like this is almost just a personal jab at me. Not a jab, but I can't think of the word right now. But a personal thing straight towards me. Because the number one thing I've said is community, 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 community. It is huge to absolutely have some sort of community functionality and put some support behind it, put your weight behind it. Whether it's mod support or community design mode, specifically in order to have the community itself foster and take care of itself and push itself more into this game, okay? They want to build a Studio Foe community, not just a Subverse community, although we are focused on Subverse at the current moment because that's the game that's trying to come out. Mod support is great. This is also one of the most highly sought-after features from what I've heard, so very exciting that they're trying to make this a thing. There's also another reason why that these scenes are done in real time, as well as the game models during talking, because not only are you going to get your cosmetics in the game, and then it's going to apply to the waifu during the conversation since they're actual models, but that would more likely mean that if you mod one of the character models, it'll change them throughout the course of everything. I used to do this all the time in Devil May Cry 5. You mod one of the characters' generic models, then that generic model for whatever scene happens changes. It can be a little finicky sometimes, but you know what? Mod support is most definitely important. This is great. This is a huge move. Thank you, Studio Foe, for at least acknowledging this. Even if it's going to be a while before this happens, even if it's soon. It sounds like it's soon. They said more details next month on them, so that's good to hear. But I'm just happy to hear. I'm always happy to hear acknowledgement on modding. Streamster! It's been delayed quite a bit. It was supposed to come out March 28th. Looks like there's been some delays with it, but you know what? People in Germany and other countries where the game is not currently available for you, it is coming. Just be patient. It is coming. You'll have it within your own hands. I'm just glad that everyone's going to be able to play this game to some capacity. Reddit AMA, I'll be there tomorrow. I'll make it happen. I don't know if I'm going to live stream it or if I'm going to do something. You guys let me know down below what you guys want to see. But I'll definitely be asking some sort of questions. Hearing details that Elijah's next. Awesome. We know nothing about that character because they just haven't said much about it. It was also really good to hear that the gifting system is going to have more depth to it. I definitely think it needs some work, but it sounds like from the wording here that it was always intended to have more depth. They just wanted to get a simplistic version out for this first build of the game. Understandable. Have a nice day. But also, most importantly, above all, feature creep. The fact that everything here has been planned so far is good. Do not add stuff later on. They're sticking to a schedule. They seem to be just complete, utter workaholics, as I like to put it. I know a lot of people are concerned about them doing crunch, which this is not crunch when they're voluntarily coming in here. It's just a team of workaholics. They got a good workflow. That's awesome. That's great. Of course, don't burn yourself out. Take breaks when you need to, and I advocate that 100%. But if it's something you're passionate about, go for it. I'm glad to hear that this is a passion-built game and has shown within the first release of the game. Lastly,
I was name dropped. That's fucking dope.
And lastly, we have the first patch of the game coming relatively soon. TM. Whenever it's available, whenever it's ready on their part, which good to hear. This is their first game, so, you know, take your time, make it happen when you can, but great to hear that they are looking out for everybody and that they definitely are listening. They're not just a company that says that we hear you, we hear you. They actually prove it. Now, the lack of the roadmap because he thinks it's not very efficient. Okay, all right. Well, we'll see what they plan to do. They have roadmaps in the past, some pretty rough ones, so, I mean, maybe they'll do something. We'll see. Other than that, that's it. Before I let you go, hit subscribe so we can hit 10K subs by the end of April. That is the new milestone. Do that. Down below, I still stream Subverse on Picardo.tv, so definitely follow me on there. And that's it. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time.